Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. This is Lady Blacks again coming at you with another video. If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the notifications so you're notified anytime I drop a new video. Also, shout out to the new subbies. Welcome to the family, y'all. If anyone has any ideas, feedback, or videos you want me to react to, please email me. My email is always in the About section, and it's ladyblacksagain@gmail.com. Finally, as y'all know, the dust is quite fierce. The dust is quite fierce. So in case we need a backup plan, I've created a second channel for us. I'll link that for you below. Hey y'all, so let's get into another subject matter. As y'all know, there has been a very controversial conversation being had amongst divestment BWE channels as far as whether or not it is beneficial for Black women to continue to give birth to little Black boys. Now, I think there are many layers to this conversation. So I'm going to go ahead and sort of set a foundation of me personally. Just give you some sort of perspective of where I'm coming from, what my thought process is and how it has come to be. And then I will answer that question at the end. So try to stick with me, y'all. I'm going to try not to babble. Y'all know how I am. I'm very babbly. And so I'm actually over here trying to do my hair while I answer this question, because sometimes multitasking helps me get to the point. So I'm going to do my best, but try to hang in there with me. So to set the tone of this, yes, y'all know that I am an ally. I am a multiracial Black woman. That is how I identify. And I have a maker, ex-Dusty, that is the father of my child. And so my child is also multiracial. However, she is mostly Black, naturally. And so I personally did not give birth to a little Black boy. Now, I will say that I actually very grateful for that. Now, here's a little bit of a secret. When I was pregnant, now I was like, how old was I? I was 20 going on 21 when I got pregnant, and I was 21 going on 22 when I gave birth. Way back when I got that urge to become a mom, I don't know what it was inside of me. I don't know if it was just my subconscious that always knew things, the intuitive side of myself. I don't know, because I feel like there was something always inside me that knew that I would divest, that I'm a fellow divestee. So I don't know if it was just like my intuitive side or just whatever the case may be, but there was something always inside me that did not want to have a son when I first decided to become a mother and experience motherhood. And so I actually prayed and manifested a daughter. And, people around me would also, further feed into that manifestation. What I mean by that is I would be, no matter where I went, when I was pregnant, everybody, now this was before I found out whether or not I was having a boy or girl, but when I was showing, everywhere I go, people would say, I think you're having a girl. And I'd be like, you know what? I think you're right. I think I am having a girl. And so I am actually very grateful that my prayers and manifestations were answered and came to pass. But I don't know where that urge of not wanting to have a son came from. I just didn't want to have a son, and I feel very blessed I didn't. Because back then I was not divested. I was with my ex-naker, and we subsequently got married after the baby and divorced. So I feel that whether or not you give birth to a daughter or a son, I feel that there are going to be challenges for that child as a result of there not being a father in the household. I feel that the negative impacts of not having a father in the household impact the gender in different ways, the different gender in different ways. Now, I'm a traditionalist, so I'm definitely coming from the traditionalist perspective, y'all. I feel that because little girls rely on their fathers for self-esteem, there will be challenges as far as the self-esteem for little girls as a result of a father not being in the household. However, I feel that that challenge is not as challenging as the challenges that come from little boys not having a father. But granted, they're both challenges nonetheless. I just feel that little girls have a higher chance of overcoming the negativity. Of course, there's going to be challenges. There's work that they're going to have to do to overcome those challenges. But nonetheless, I feel that those challenges are easier to overcome in little girls that are raised by single mothers than the negative impacts of little boys. Now, let me tie that into Blackistan, because y'all know the Black community, for me, is Black women, and everything dealing with Blackistan has everything to do with Nakers and their poor leadership. For me. Unfortunately, because most Black women and most people are attracted to their own race, the Black community has intertwined with Blackistan, right? And so what do you get? You know what I mean? When what is usually the outcome for Black women who procreate with Black men? They become single mothers. And the quote unquote preferences also become single mothers, and in fact have become the new face of single motherhood, right? And I guess that's where I fall in, technically, right? The quote unquote new face of single motherhood, right? I got the same Naker that everybody else gets, right? But anyways, that's what you get when you procreate with a Black man, isn't it? You have a chance of becoming a single mother. So thus, no matter what you give birth to, you're going to have and experience the negative impacts as a result of raising a child without a father. And unfortunately, your chances of that are higher, right? When you procreate with a Black man. Now, on one hand, you give birth to a little Black girl. She has self-esteem issues because she doesn't have a father. and you have to work through those issues. But I feel that Black women being the most educated demographic, in America, and the most likely demographic to open up businesses, right? That is huge. That is evidence that Black women are overcoming the negative consequences of not having a father in their life. Tie that with Black men. What is the collective doing? You know, some of them are getting educated, but they still have treacherous ass behavior. They're not gentlemen. They're very aggressive. You know, scary. Nakers. And that's supposed to be the better end of the spectrum in terms of what sort of partner or mate you would get from Black men, or the higher end of the spectrum, where you get like the child M's, the M's of the mother of their children, the ones that M them and then dump them on the highway, as I saw happen in New York. Shout out to Lexus Exodus for breaking that story. You know, either way, you're not going to get a good partner. And if you have a son, evidence suggests that, you know, this is what they would become, you know. So clearly the issues that lie with little Black boys not having fathers in their lives, the evidence, you know, I'm saying like a father that's not a Dusty, right? An actual good father, because they're, you know, if a Dusty is over there dustying in front of their child, you still run into the issue of creating a Dusty. I'm talking about a solid dude who happens to be a Black man, which is a unicorn. That's what I'm referring to in terms of a father being in these little Black boys' lives. That's what I'm referring to. But anyways, you know, not having, the evidence shows that little Black boys, the way that they become adults, based off of how the collective is, they don't really overcome those negative impacts of not having a father in their life. Right? So the other element of this is the pro-choice, pro-life discussion. I can't answer yes or no as to whether I'm pro-choice or pro-life. I am a libertarian. For me, Constitution. But I would say I'm a hybrid of the two. You know, Constitution's first and foremost. Constitution's the, you know, leading action here, I feel, if that makes sense. So I'll elaborate on this a little bit more, because this is a very gray issue. And I think that anybody who says simply yes or simply no on this subject matter is, well, I don't know. Like, I just don't think you can. That's what I'll say. I won't judge anybody on what they believe. You know, you do you, and I'll do me, basically, in terms of that. But so I'll continue. I'll reel this on in and keep it personal. Keep it just my own thought process. I personally can't answer yes or no on that. I have not ever gone through that, thank God, and I couldn't go through something like that. But that's just me and how I want to manage my body. And I've had many friends make the decision to terminate a pregnancy. And I didn't judge them. And I was there for them. And whatever they needed from me to support them in their decision, I gave them. And I gave them my full support. Because Constitution gonna Constitution. And it don't matter what I think. Women need to do what's best for them when making such a decision. Now, y'all know this is not a political channel, but I just want to set the tone just based off of my thought process and my morals and values. So as I mentioned before, y'all know I am libertarian, Constitution going Constitution. And so that's my belief system with the subject matter. But one of the things that as a libertarian, I follow a lot of conservative libertarian pages on social media. And I've gotten into discussions with conservatives who tend to be pro-life, bottom line. One of the things that I said to them, that if there were more positive male leaders who took a stance of, sorry, y'all, had to shoot my cat away, that took a stance of not participating in treacherous ass behavior, I'll say. Trying to find my words here. There would be less opportunities for women to even terminate pregnancies. Meaning, if there were more men who were like, you know what? I'm withholding. I'm not even going to participate in a sexual experience. We can kick it, we can hang out, we can get to know each other. But I personally want to, just build myself. I personally want to make sure that I have something to offer my children. I want to build a business or something like that. If they are in a relationship, they actually approach the relationships with morals and ethics, meaning no talking to other girls, focusing on that one girl. If you guys decide to sleep with each other, take the precautions to not procreate until you're married and you have built something together, but you've taken the time to grow and build with each other first, and then, create a family. If there were more male leaders making these types of decisions instead of spreading their doggone fertilizer everywhere, there would be less opportunities for women to terminate pregnancies. Therefore, termination of pregnancies falls on the men. That's the stance I would take on these debates online. Now, tie that into Blackistan, because as y'all know, the collective black men, basically good leaders, the good leaders that exist in black men aren't enough to impact the collective in a positive way. And there are too many treacherous ass nakers in Blackistan. And that just, period. Therefore, there are more opportunities for black women to terminate pregnancies, isn't there? So that's basically my thought process on the whole whether or not I'm pro-choice. It's sort of like a gray belief system. that I have, and with the Constitution leading the conversation of what the bottom line is. So that's sort of what my thought process is. So now, reeling this all into a conclusion, based off of everything that I just said, I would say that no, unfortunately, there is no benefit right now in birthing Black sons based off of what statistics show. And there is more of a benefit of birthing little Black girls. There will be challenges with them being raised by single mothers. But as long as it's a good mother, with morals and values and with a drive, my daughter hasn't seen me with any man besides her naked father. She's never seen it. I didn't say I didn't date. I didn't say that I didn't do me. She's never seen it. Okay? So I say that to say that you have to put all you're a good mom, you have to put all your focus and all your effort in raising your daughter, and you will have a good daughter. And I think that is the collective of Black women, to be honest with you. That's why we have a high rate of educated and Black women business owners in America. That's just facts. That's just stats. That's just is what it is. And if you compare that to the collective of Black men, it's night and day. So how do we get to a resolution? How do we in terms of procreation, what's the approach? What is the approach to this? Well, for one, I feel that celibacy is underrated. I've personally been celibate for 6 years. So I'm just just don't procreate with people. You know where babies come from, how they're made. Don't do it. Just don't do it. You know what I mean? I think that, for me, Constitution, but if you just avoid getting pregnant in the first place with an acres, you're not going to run into having to make the decision whether or not you want to terminate a pregnancy. So it is an extreme measure to get pregnant, find out it's a boy, and abort it. Oops, sorry, said it. Terminate the pregnancy. Am I going to judge it? No, because people terminate pregnancies for way less than that. And I think it's a little bit hypocritical if somebody says, you can't terminate a pregnancy just because it's a little Black boy, and not say to the woman who just isn't ready to be a mom, it's not cool to terminate a pregnancy just because you're not ready to be a mom. I think it holds the same weight. If you want to measure it in terms of morals and values, it's equal. So you can't chastise one mom because she wants to terminate a pregnancy because it's a Black boy in her womb, and not the one who's just not ready to be a mom. So yeah, I think that's really hypocritical. But at the same time, with me thinking celibacy is underrated, I feel that if you just avoid procreating with nakers, you won't run into the situation anyways. Now, if you're so hell-bent on keeping the Black race alive, I don't see anything wrong with selective breeding. I don't see anything wrong with that at all. But, based off of statistics, it's a gamble. It's a gamble, whether it's an educated lame, quote unquote, or a dusty. I mean, dusties come in educated lame, and they come in, treacherous M's who M children and M women and A women. It's a gamble, it is a gamble. So I think that, that a lot of Black women, however, are already, they either don't care about that or they've already grieved that loss of the Black race and have come to the terms that the Black race may turn into the biracial race at some point, you know? But what matters is a Black woman deserves to be treated well and to be treated like the queen that she is. And your chances of obtaining that from a non-Black man are going to be higher. And if your chances of being a single mother when you procreate with the Black man is going to be higher. And then birthing a son with an acre, statistics show that it's a gamble in terms of what their behavior is going to be. I have brothers, they're multiracial, like myself, but they have that Black male pathology. And shout out to Cynthia G. And, they're both, one of them is very educated. The other one is just straight up bottom shelf. But they have the same mindset and they talk alike. They think alike. They say the same things. And one of them is very much trash and the other one is educated and still trash. So I don't know if I think that it would be hypocritical and I would be look like a crazy person if I were to say, yes, there's a benefit to giving birth to Black sons after saying everything that I just said in this video. So I would say divest. Do what's best for you. And yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about this conversation being had about whether or not it's beneficial for Black women to give birth to Black men or little Black boys. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I love y'all. See you on the next one.